No, we're doing multiple things here. First of all, I'm starting my business and I'm taking you on a journey as I work this out as transparently as I can so that it can be helpful to someone uh, it is a journey. And keep in mind, I started this journey with no money, zero. And we've been talking about it for 7 or 8 months. Sorry, 7 or 8 years, I believe. 7 or 8 years. I started, for the most part, leaving the car business in finance. I think that was 2016. So that's 7 years. Around this time, about 7 years today. We talked about it, I believe, 6 to 7 or 8 months before that. And so now we're about 7.5 years. Then we went to, I think we went to, no, we went to Africa. I went to Africa, um, came back, left the business. I think this is the timeline. I'm sharing this with you so you understand the work to be done. You have to do the work. If you don't have the finances, and back then my credit was worse. um, some stuff had to burn off. My credit is actually better now. I was in debt financially with in taxes. I think I still owe about $1,400 in taxes. Why am I being so transparent? Because I want you to see the work to be done, and it takes time. Shout out to Robert if you listen to this. I saw your video today. The whole switching in and out of the lanes and you just got to do the work. You have to wait. You have to be patient. You have to. Your video was good. If you're watching this, you'll hear that. I did give you a thumbs up. The work. There's work to be done. If you want to transition from any phase of life to any next phase of life. So these are just principles. I'm not targeting anyone. There's obedience and there's sacrifice. In that, shout out to Amanda Hill, there's discipline. Amanda and I had a great conversation. My friend in Texas had a great conversation we talked about discipline and something else. I forgot what it was. Discipline is absolutely necessary. You actually become a different person. I remember having a conversation with somebody recently. I think it was my son and somebody else. Do you? A person can't change; they remain the same. I beg to differ. I am not the same guy I was in my 20s, or my 30s, or my 40s. That's the work that's being done on you. It's to be someone, to create something means you have to be recreated. Shout out to Dr. Joe Higginbotham, who teaches that you have to unlearn some things and relearn. I know I missed the first part. I wasn't trying to give them your whole thing. But it's true. And in all this, I'm even you wonder why people leave your life when you're right in the midst of it, and then you recognize, wait a minute, they don't fit where I'm going anyway. And you don't fit where they're going or where they are. So people have to leave your life. This is the work to be done. That's the introduction. How much time I have? The other work to be done is more technical and well, there are fundamentals, but when I say there are fundamentals, there are things, like you have to study. That's a fundamental. You have to know what you're pursuing. Fundamental. So if you're just pursuing a degree, which is a motivator, to want a degree in a particular thing, say theology, sociology, psychology, any of the ologies. There are fundamentals. In other words, there's time taken away from your family. Those are considerations. There's the school that you choose. The instructors. There's some things that you want to understand. Going into whatever it is, and it boils down to doing the research. Whatever it is, whether it's going to school, starting a business, there's always research. Some people would call it study. Don't get tripped up on the words, or if you don't understand the synonyms or whatever. Don't let that trip you up. The bottom line is you need to study, read, get around the right people so that you can ask questions. And once you've done that, and once you've done the study and that sort of thing, and this is all perpetual, I think that's the right word, and if it's not the right word, forgive me, but while you're doing that, you have to do the technical stuff, setting up the company, getting your board members. I call that the technical stuff. Making sure that you have an accountant, a bookkeeper, or a CPA. Maybe you start off with a bookkeeper. Maybe you start off with an accountant. They all do different things. Or maybe you can start off with a CPA. I'm so crazy, I just started off with a CPA with no money. And it was the most embarrassing conversation. I said, listen, I know I'm not making any money, but I need a CPA. It was, and she kind of went with it. It helped that I referred her a couple of people too, because CPAs usually don't work with people with no money. And she's been with me for the last 3 years now, and I'm grateful for that. So there's the fundamentals that, in other words, all this before I even thought about selling a policy, having a client on the consulting side. So with my business, it has two prongs based upon what my goals are. One is helping people. I never wanted to sell people final expense policies. That was never my goal. Which, whether that was a good goal or not, it was never my goal to sell bottom end policies just so that I can generate money. Because, when I meet someone, and New York Life did a shout out to New York Life for doing a fantastic job training me on doing insurance portfolios. I just don't do enough of them, to be quite frank with you. so that people have the right coverage. And if you're looking out for your client's best interest, it's hard, once you teach me to do that, it's hard for me to just say, okay, here, let me get you this $25,000 final expense policy, and you've got an $900,000 mortgage. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. You really do need an insurance portfolio, because, and I'm just going to be real frank about this. I don't want the chargebacks, number one, which you're going to get anyway. But I don't want the chargebacks, and I don't want somebody coming back at me looking and saying something like I did something that was unethical. I don't want to do that. Either we're rolling together and we have a relationship. It's already happened to me a couple times. Either we have a relationship rolling together, or I just prefer not to have the problem. So, the work to be done is the fundamental stuff and the technical stuff. I'm kind of using financial terms, but the fundamental stuff, making sure that you start your company off. I did a logo. Things like that. You want to file your paperwork. You want to put your team together. All while learning your product or your service, getting around the right people. Now, I hope this is actually helpful to you to get started. And then you can say, you know what, I've done all that. And the part that most people don't want to hear, but is necessary to hear, is you have to raise funds. That's the stage I'm at right now. I'm raising funds. Now that I have my business plan in place, I have my two-pronged system, which is the consulting part and the insurance part, or the insurance part, which is the banner up there, and the consulting part, that banner is down there. I don't think I can focus on the consulting part as much. I have to start with one thing, which is the insurance thing, and then bring in the consulting later on. Even though I do it for fun now with a couple of people, because I love sharing principles with people that can be helpful. I love doing these videos. But I'm taking you on a journey to first start this company right here. And you might say, Paul, I thought you've already started the company. I have started the company, but we still have to launch it. And to do that, you need to raise funds so that you can do the marketing and that sort of thing. Or it could be that you have such a good group of people, you can do it started with the good group of people you have and do social media campaigns. It all depends on the type of business as well. It might be a business that you can go door to door with your friends. But if it's a business, not self-employed, but if it's a business, you have to have that team together. And this one has a bit of a team. You still need to add more people, like for customer service. But I need to add investors, customer service, and more, a couple more insurance companies to work with, and about 9 more agents, because right now I have 3, about 9 more agents. So the goal is to have the customer service piece, the agents piece, the insurance companies. The insurance companies will do the training. The agents will do the marketing. The customer service will take care of following through on the policies that are sold, making sure that they go through underwriting. And I'll be handling the corporate stuff, which is raising funds, building brand awareness through marketing and that sort of thing. And that's it. That's the work to be done. And along the way, there'll be hiccups. There'll be people that yell at you. There'll be people that want to sue you. That's why you have to have your insurances in place. You have to have your reserves in place, things like that. There'll be, you know, there'll be all kinds of, you know, challenges that go along with that. But we're entering into a different phase right now, so stay tuned. But again, I wanted to make this video so that you are aware, in general, of the work to be done when you're starting a business. Again, not self-employed, but starting a business. I hope that was helpful, because this is kicking my butt. I tell you that. It really is.